what's up? Kayla here, and I am so excited to share the very first episode of the Dish and Tell podcast with you. For this inaugural moment, I sat down with my pal, Allison Fasano, over a plate of rigatoni with a red sauce and meatballs, her favorite dish. And there's so much I adore about this human. I think you will too. But what really stands out to me is the way she reminds me of the simple power that lives in the word yes. So I hope you say yes to this episode. Pull up a chair, join us, enjoy, let me know what you think, and just thank you for being here. Hello and welcome to Dish and Tell, the place where stories linger long after the last bite. I'm Kayla, and in thinking about the very first episode of the Dish and Tell podcast, I was reminded of the ever-wise Brené Brown, specifically her naming of FFTs, fucking first times. And FFTs are moments like this, when fear, nerves, anxiety, a little bit of awkwardness all want to take over. I'm feeling all of those things right now. But my desire to be vulnerable, to remain curious, and to welcome people to my table to welcome anyone who is brave enough to give this podcast a listen is just far greater. So buckle up because I'm building the plane while flying it. And I am just truly so excited to be here, not just with all of you, but with my first guest, my friend, Allison Fasano.
Yeah, I mean, it's also first taste too.
First taste, all of it. I mean, okay, so let's just get into it because we have to eat it while it's hot.
Obviously, yeah.
Of course. And the dish that you asked me to make was red sauce and meatballs. So can I give you a little cheese? Do we want a little cheese?
I eat pasta with no cheese.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. I'm a purist. I just like to eat the tomato sauce. More for you.
You're a purist. Yeah, right.
Or I just like to eat I just want to eat the tomato sauce.
Okay, fair. How is my tomato sauce?
It's actually delicious. I mean,
actually, you say it like you're surprised.
I was building up the hype. But I do also, whatever
and
this is.
You did ask for some crushed red pepper.
Also, my small hands, I feel like this.
That was a little thing I got in Japan, and I just thought it was so cute. Technically,
really
it's for chili crisp, but doesn't this feel fun? Yeah. Oh, hi, Ranger. Hi. My little dog, Ranger, he's probably going to come in and put his head in your lap.
Totally, and he's here for any leftover or if we drop anything.
Yeah, he's really good at
we just have to shove it on the floor. Mm-hmm. No, but I think this is delicious. I mean, you can't go wrong with tomato sauce.
Okay. So,
and I also knew you were going to hit it on the money anyways.
That's really kind of you. Okay, so the way that I'm starting all of these episodes is by asking someone to tell me what their favorite dish is, what the dishes that really holds the most story, nostalgia, sort of memory for them, because I feel like food is such a powerful vehicle for that. So what's the story for you in this little dish?
Well, growing up, we always ate pasta on Sundays. Today just happens to be
a Sunday.
But we didn't know when this was going to be planned, but pasta's my ultimate comfort
That's
food.
a good meatball, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think you give the credit where credit's due, but I just love pasta. I love tomato sauce. Like growing up, we ate pasta every single Sunday. My grandfather would, make the
Your grandfather, not your grandmother.
No.
I'm totally assigning gender roles here, which is so not fair.
My grandfather would,
you know.
and nobody could be in the kitchen. It was a whole situation. But I would sneak and dip a piece of bread in the tomato sauce. But if I'm sad or feeling any kind of emotions, I just want to eat tomato sauce. I love tomato sauce. I love pasta.
Will you just like stick a spoon in the jar?
Totally.
Or does it like, really?
No, I cook it. I cook it. You know, but I don't eat like
checking.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously like the tomato sauce hot, obviously, but I don't eat pasta every day. You can't be like a gavone every day. You know?
A gavone.
You know what that is. He likes to eat a lot.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay.
But tomato sauce is just very comforting to me, and eating pasta too.
You know what's very comforting to me?
Me.
Yes.
Obviously.
You.
Yeah.
And wine. Can I pour you some wine?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm really excited about this wine because
We are about to drink it.
We're about to
One
drink
of the
it.
reasons.
It's open.
Yeah.
But also, so I find that just like a classic red sauce and meatballs pairs beautifully with a dry red wine, which is just setting the table for a Chianti Classico.
Great.
So if I may grab your
We're
glass
just having
here.
this is the Italian theme
This is
episode.
it is.
We got a Fasano, we got a pasta, and a Chianti.
It's so true. Hi, welcome to Tuscany. Here we are.
Here we are.
But this wine, I was just in Italy last month with a very good friend of ours. So we share, he's a wine importer, and he works with these just beautiful producers all over Italy. And this is one of the producers that we visited.
So cheers to you for this.
I mean, cheers to you for being here, being old enough to join for the first one. Okay, you're doing it wrong. In Italy, you're supposed to lock eyes.
Yeah, but when you say salute.
Well,
so let's try this again. Ching, yes. Also, when you're eating, I think at a table, there's no right or wrong, you know? Or there could be.
I mean,
I'm very elbows on the table, you know?
You should be. Go for it.
Yeah.
I was going to say meat table is soup table. But yeah, this is Castello La Lecce, and it's just so great.
And you were just there.
I was just there.
So basically, you work for this wine company now.
I mean, hashtag sponsored content. No.
Yeah. They don't even know it yet.
They don't know yet, but when they get the bill.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's a beautiful property, a beautiful wine program, and just beautiful wine in general that, I mean, they have
to go
kind
with
of
this
the whole
beautiful
range.
dish, too.
I mean, right? A classic.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, tell me more about your Sunday rituals growing up, because I'm picturing little Allison in Brooklyn, sitting around the table.
I didn't even wear this hat for any particular reason.
Yeah,
today.
right.
Yeah, I only own like 3 hats. One's a Buffalo Bills.
I was gonna say one's Bills, for sure. Maybe 2 are Bills and one's Brooklyn. Oh, hi, little dog.
And then there's a Mets hat in there.
What? Oh,
yeah,
that was a curveball.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. But I mean, Sundays we always ate pasta. My father was Italian, and the only noodle that we never ate was spaghetti.
How come?
Because my father was like one of 4.
Yeah.
And he always told the stories like his mom was like, you know, he only had one parent, and his dad left when he was young. And, you know, to feed a family, you need, you know, pasta's a great way to feed a family because it's cheap.
Yeah,
and they would
stretches.
eat spaghetti all the time.
Oh my God, so he
And
just like
he would always
over-indexed
say,
on the spaghetti.
I hate spaghetti constantly. The amount of times I heard him say, I hate spaghetti, I was like, okay, we're not going to eat spaghetti in this household. So now when I eat spaghetti, it's really a treat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. And then when I go out to restaurants, like, you know, in like New York, there's like very red sauce places. Like you get an eggplant parm and they're like, what pasta you want? I'm always like, spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Ooh, it's like that power move.
Yeah.
It's like, look at me, I'm an adult. I
could eat pasta. I could eat spaghetti
I
now.
can choose for myself. I go bucatini.
Bucatini is a great pasta. I always like a rigatoni because sometimes I just like, you just want to scoff food in, and like you could get like a few noodles on here and then scoff it down. Where I feel like sometimes you're like,
that's Urban Dictionary, right? Is that where we find that?
scoff it down. But I feel like some pastas you work for it.
Okay, so I was really excited when you told me you wanted some meatballs because I didn't have a meatball recipe in my arsenal.
Well, you know, I think the greatest thing about meatballs, it really is the perfect blank canvas. I mean, sometimes I like to use the mixture of ground beefs, like pork, beef, and veal.
Hold on, what's your ratio? Because that's exactly what I did.
No, you did not.
I did. So it's a pound of meat.
It's even
and so
equal
I did,
parts.
No, I did. I heavied up like ground beef, so that was half a pound, and then I did a 1/4 pound of veal and a 1/4 pound of pork. And I did find a pretty lean ground beef because I knew that the other cuts were a bit fattier, right? But doesn't it add like such a nice depth? And I preferred to bake it for this because you sacrifice the texture, but it doesn't feel as, what's the word I'm looking for? Like greasy to me. But in recipe testing, I did I did fry some with avocado oil. We're a no seed oil girl over here. And I love the smoke point of avocado. It's so nice
totally.
and high. But anyways, it's, no, it was great, but you had to eat them immediately too.
Yeah.
And I knew we would be kind of like lingering over the conversation.
We'll be yapping.
Yeah.
We're gonna be
blabbing. So,
No, but I think I always do like 3 different types of, ground beefs or pork and veal.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I love a good all pork meatball. I do always
wild.
bake. Yeah, I do always bake my meatballs.
Okay.
I do them low, and so I do them 325 for 20 minutes.
See, I did about 400 for 20 minutes because I did want like a little bit of like browning.
Bite.
Yeah, like I wanted it to push back a little.
Totally.
I didn't want it to be so forgiving.
I cook them in the oven. Then you throw them in the tomato sauce. So they could also become one with the tomato sauce. But I think the greatest thing about meatballs is there's no perfect recipe. I think everybody has their own recipe for meatballs.
Okay, what do you use to bind them? I did like a lot of research. I went down a few rabbit holes on this one.
So like, I think a traditional, like you're talking like peasant way, which sometimes I'll do it at my house, is I pick bread and I soak it in milk. Did you do that?
Oh my God.
What?
We are sharing a brain. Okay, ready?
Okay.
So I used...
I'm braced.
Ready?
Okay.
I used egg yolks. And I made a panade, which is what that is.
Yes.
And I was like, wait, I'm like learning
You're
new
gonna
things.
have, like,
it's the French word, as you know. I took buttermilk because I liked
that little bite of buttermilk or that
tang. You know what I mean? And the way that I thought it would like maybe tenderize like the meat a little bit. So I took like old school white sandwich bread. I cut off the crust,
the ones
put
that
it in
sticks to
cubes.
the roof of your mouth when you eat it.
Oh my God, like peanut. Give me a PB&J right now. Say less.
That's the dessert for today.
Yeah, oh, spoiler alert. So I soaked it in the buttermilk and then I put that in and it was legendary. I tried breadcrumbs and I tried a few other things. And it's not that it didn't work. It didn't quite just end in the way that I wanted.
Yeah, I was about to say, did it give you your final results? But I think there's no perfect recipe for meatballs. I think every like family has them.
Yeah.
You know, but also with pasta too, there's everybody has their own way of making pastas. And if you talk to 100 nonas, they're going to tell you a different recipe.
Oh my God, like 100%.
100% of 100 nonas is,
It's not unique. Also, okay, sugar in tomato sauce. Yay, nay?
No.
What do we think? I think no too. And it's not because I'm a purist. It's a type, how do I say this? It's like, it's a type of cheat or manipulation that I feel like we can work around. And so I worked really hard to, it feels, in my opinion, it's very balanced and it doesn't have a strong acidity to it because I worked really hard to caramelize the onions. So it brought some natural sweetness. And if it was, in my testing, if it was lacking sweetness from that, I was ready to maybe put a date in there, honestly.
Sometimes if you keep this up, we're going to have a lot of dates.
No, but it was, I'm so glad you like it. Okay, do you like this wine too? What do you think of the wine?
No, I think the wine's great. You know what's funny? Speaking of wine.
Say more.
I was going to tell you.
Ranger's like, wine what?
Wine what? I was about to tell you my secret to meatballs. I don't think anybody else ever does it.
Oh my God, are you ready to reveal a secret?
Oh yeah, and also here's the thing.
The audience here is huge. So.
I mean, I know, I heard.
Yeah.
But the thing about recipes, and I give away recipes a lot. Like if I work on like I had this bread recipe that people like, I love that, and I just give it to them, and I always say there's no such thing.
Because why gatekeep?
Also,
No,
there's no such thing as a secret recipe. You are going to
make it differently than I would make it, than Ranger would make it. Like
Ranger and Coco cook with each other.
Oh my God.
But I think there's no such thing as a secret recipe. Do you know what I'm saying? And I always give people recipes, and everyone's will interpret as they will. You know, whether I say pork, they're gonna be like, I can't find pork, so I'm gonna do ground beef, and it's like whatever. But all recipes originate from somewhere, and I know that too. You know, but the thing about meatballs is, you know, I'll have my picked bread, or even if you're doing panko and you're soaking the panko, and I always slow cook onions and garlic, let them cool, fold them to the mix. And then I'm adding like some
I
seasoning.
put oregano in mine.
I was about
but,
to say that
fresh
too.
oregano.
I like fresh oregano, a little chili flakes, salt, pepper.
I didn't add any
Parmesan
chili flakes,
or grana
but
padano.
I
And you know what the secret ingredient is that
What?
I add?
Oh my God, tell me.
And it all depends. Like if I'm doing like...
And if you say something dumb like love, you're gonna have to leave.
No. Also, no, I mean, I would be like, that's not a secret ingredient. But I add like, depending on how much I'm making, is I add red wine.
Oh, I added red wine in mine!
A lot of it. I put a lot.
I only did a third of a cup.
Oh no,
time out though. Firm believer that the wine you use to cook should be wine that you want to drink. So don't go get something gross off the shelf that you're like, this was 99
at a 7-Eleven.
cents. No, I've actually used a little bit of this beautiful Chianti Classico, and I think it just helps bring it all full. Maybe it's like in my brain, but it just brings it all full circle in such a lovely way. And it was only
whatever's
a third
in your
of a
brain,
cup.
you need to put that on the plate.
Yeah.
Obvious.
Oh my God, wait. So we basically have the same recipe.
Yeah, but I also put
exciting.
like a lot of red wine in it.
How much? Wow. So you have like you have like a drunken sauce.
And now I have a drunken bowl. Everything's cooked, and I add like if I did a pound of...
Bring it in.
Means there'd be a good amount of red wine in there,
Salud.
Salud.
Mm-hmm. When I was in the kitchen, and I was... Today, but also I've been working on your recipe for the past week because I really just want to bring my A game for Allison. A for Allison, but also for anybody who comes to my table. Like, I just really want to deliver and create something that it's kind of like a dinner party for you, right?
Yeah.
And so
it's for them too. The dinner, they're part of the dinner party.
And for you.
Somebody will watch us and be like, I want pasta today.
They will. They will, absolutely. I hope so, anyway, right? And maybe some wine.
If somebody's coming to my house, I'm like, no, let me cook something.
Yeah.
Or just being a part of it.
Well, I mean, especially when it was coming over, you can't not have something. I feel like that was like slapped into me at such a young age,
Yeah,
like
that's why, it's like a thing in Brooklyn that we always talk about. Like my grandma would always have, remember those Edmonds cake? I don't even think they sell any here.
No, they do.
They do?
Yeah, they definitely do.
Oh, okay. Just my grandma would always buy an Edmonds cake and we would go
Which
eat
one?
it.
The coffee cake or the one with like the lemon and the streusel and
all
stuff?
Of them.
All of them.
If there was like a new Edmonds cake, she was like, I gotta buy that. And if you went to go eat a piece, she would always say, no, that's for the guest. And I'm like, what guest? And she was just like...
the one who might show up.
Exactly. She was like anticipating somebody might show up to give them a piece of Edmonds cake.
Yeah. Well, but okay, that's the beauty of
but you always
food
had something.
As connection, though, right? Where it's like all you need is something to eat. Like the equation's so simple: something to eat and someone to enjoy it with, and boom, that's where magic can happen. And I think that's what's so exciting to me about Dish and Tell is I want to use it as this place where we're like leaning into food to create connection, to explore our relationships to ourselves, to others. And I'm just so excited for like where it can go. And I'm so excited to have you here as my first guest.
Yes, we have great banter. We have a lot of things to say.
An endless supply.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think that we share this core belief in food as connection. And you're so tremendous. And you wrote a chapter for a book, Slaying New York, that I read, and I was so touched by this specific quote that you had. So I'm going to read this. Food is nourishment. It is a reflection of the human experience. Each ingredient, flavor, and meal tells a story about who we are and how we live. In many ways, food mimics life. Both are processes of transformation, balance, and connection. I mean, I just love it. It resonates so deeply with my whole heart. And can you just expand on that even more?
Well, I think like for me, I think I cook a lot from a memory, right? And I've worked at these really fine dining Michelin star restaurants, but then sometimes I'm like, what do I really want to make? And sometimes I just close my eyes and I'm like, what do I want to make? And either it's like pasta, like a slow cooked tomato sauce, or sometimes I'm like, I want to make pinoli cookies as a dessert. Like before I was born, my father was a baker and we grew up baking all the time.
Oh my God.
And we would always make
that.
pinoli cookies. So sometimes
Wait, what's a pinoli cookie? Why can't I think of that?
Pinoli cookies are, an Italian.
Is it a pizzelle?
We're in the same family.
Okay.
It's made with like
adjacent, pizzelle adjacent.
yeah, it's pizzelle's cousin.
No, it's not at all.
Pignoli.
But I'm just gonna say yes.
They all are at the same family table. But it's made with the almond paste and pine nuts. And it's just like a really simple cookie, and there's like a hint of lemon in it. They're always like, people say, what's your favorite cookie? And I go, pignoli.
Oh.
It's my favorite cookie.
Okay.
Not a chocolate chip, not anything. A pignoli cookie. So sometimes I want to make a pignoli cookie.
Maybe
or
while listening to Celine Dion.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, like, you know what's like one dish that I make, and I totally, again, I cook from like memory, and it's like shake and bake pork chops.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Wait, okay, time out. You cook so you don't have any like recipes written down?
You don't need a recipe for shake and bake pork chops. You just
Facts, that is true. But like for your pignolis or anything?
No, I mean, it's a very classic, you know, recipe, or sometimes I turn it into like my own. Like if I'm making tomato sauce, I either do a really quick tomato sauce, or I do a really low and slow tomato sauce that I'll cook for like 6 hours.
This was a quick tomato sauce.
That's great. I love it because it's also like Pomodoro Fresco. It's like, you know, you're just really tasting the tomato sauce, which I just love tomato sauce. Like I'll say it again. What's your favorite food tomato sauce?
Yeah. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question though. Going back to that beautiful poetic quote, is there a dish you've cooked that represents transformation, balance, and connection for you?
I feel like you try to hit that with every dish that you make. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, yeah,
I
more.
would think so, because when you try a dish, I feel like you're trying it for different flavors, and it all depends on like who you're, like, let's say for instance our friend Stephanie, right?
A future guest.
A future guest. She doesn't even know she's a future guest. But you know, she's like, how many times New York Times bestseller cookbook author, and we call her, what does she have, the super
She
palate?
is a super taster.
She's a super taster. But if I'm making a dish with Stephanie or whatever, you know, we're like trying it, and we're thinking about like textures and doesn't have crunch, and like we're thinking about the layers and
Balance.
if it needs more balance and acidity. So that's kind of like every dish you make. And I don't think like everybody has this mindset, but I think chefs, and like if we're in a restaurant, that's kind of what I'm always thinking about.
Okay, I appreciate that answer. I feel like it's also a very like chefy technical answer. Can we get into a little of like
Personal answer?
well, personal, but like also like maybe this like ethereal space of like, are you like, do you ever create a dish where you're like, this is the way I want someone to feel when they eat this, or like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think, you know, with any art, it's always very subjective, and I think
It is an art. Cooking truly is an art.
And I think everyone's entitled to have their own, you know, opinions. And then sometimes I think I make dishes and I'm like, that dish is for me.
Only you?
No, I mean,
nobody
like, in
else
my
can
head.
have it. Oh.
No, that's not what I mean.
I was like, what?
I just mean like, I'll
that,
put a dish
that,
and I'm like,
hits, that touches
one's for me.
Okay.
And I also feel like,
wait, give me an example.
I made a dish at a restaurant and I was just like, I extruded the pasta, right? You know, some pastas, like this is an extruded pasta. And I was just like, if I had to create an elegant dish that was like my Sunday dinners growing up, what would it be? And I did like this braised ossobuco with like this Fresno granola and then like this fresh extruded pasta with this long braised tomato sauce. And I was picking the ossobuco and the marrow out of it. Yeah. And everyone's like, that dish is delicious. And I believe I also feel like you kind of get it or you don't. And I feel like, well, it's true. Like people are like, this dish is great, you know?
Yeah.
But I remember I had this guy said, this reminds me of like Sunday dinners. Like this reminds me of my grandma. Oh my God,
that must have felt so good to you.
And that was like the best compliment.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't out to win an award with the dish. I was just like, I think that dish made me feel something. And if people get it, or maybe people who come from the same upbringing of you, maybe it's somebody who's eating from Brooklyn or New York and get it. Or like, this dish reminded me of my grandma. And I was like, oh, that was it. That was it. No matter what anybody else said, I was like, that was the compliment that was going for.
Oh, I love that. That's really great.
So I think I always say that I cook like a no-no, and people always say, what does that mean? And I was like, you know, like food that gives you a hug on the inside. And I think over time...
But you're also like willing to give a hug on the outside too. Which is really nice. It's
I mean, with a small fee of, you know... I'm always willing to give a hug.
You are.
Yeah. I also think that, you know, there are some dishes that you make and you're like, okay, that's it. Like, you'll remember it. I always remember food. Like, those are my favorite memories and like taste too. Like, I could smell something, I go, and I was like, oh, you know what that reminds me of? And I remember one time, this kid at one of the restaurants I've worked in made this like trotter sauce, so like pig's feet.
Oh, okay.
And he made the slow braised tomato sauce, and the sauce was just like really thick. It was like, you know, there's always that argument: is it sauce or is it gravy? You know, and it was like a gravy. And I just remember going, oh my god, that tasted like my grandfather's tomato sauce. And I was like, I've never had anybody, because I didn't open my mouth and say anything to him.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you hate it. And I was just like, I just needed a minute.
I'm like savoring it. It's like
I was
taking
just like,
me
needed
somewhere.
a second. And I don't know if he understood. I was like, tastes like my grandfather's tomato sauce. And I never had anybody hit that on the money. And he was like, is that a compliment? And I was like, totally. I think that just like reawakens, you know, a memory. And I do appreciate working in all these fine dining restaurants, but then sometimes I'm like in my house on a Sunday and I'm like, I'm gonna make shake and bake pork chops.
Yeah.
Because I ate that. My grandma made that all the time growing up.
We're getting food on the table.
Is it one of those dishes where you're like, oh, this is, no, I mean, it's just more of a memory.
Yeah.
That's why I cooked the shake and bake pork chops.
Yeah.
You know, my grandma didn't make a lot of dishes, but the pork chops, sure.
It's I don't know. As I get older, and it's like
You're like 28?
oh my god, exactly. You just nailed it. So as I approach 30, it's the memories. It is harder to access, I think, just on the surface. But food is like that great unlock, you know, that just like makes it more accessible.
Totally. And I think if you have like a written recipe, you could almost recreate a dish that somebody who's maybe not here anymore has once made for you. And you could actually, that's the one thing you could like hit right on the money. Even if it's using the same canned tomato sauce that they use. That's like the food is and recipe is one of those things where you can just kind of hit it right on the money. Like, this is exactly what we ate.
God, my mom, she used to keep this little recipe box that you would put like 3x5 like cards in, and with her perfect cursive penmanship, she would write it out. And I don't have it anymore. It drives me crazy. I can't find it. But it was a card for a banana bread, and it had like the little spots of oil on the card and stuff, and just looking at the penmanship, you can almost like smell, I think, the cinnamon on the card, you know?
So it became a scratch and sniff.
Yeah, it did.
Unintentional, but also thank God for that.
Right?
Yeah.
God, it's the best. So, okay, this is making me think of something else I wanted to ask you, which is like, to me, you're kind of this queen of reinvention. I haven't known you for a super long time, but within that short window, you've just dove headfirst into a number of different projects. And so what would you tell somebody who's just like maybe scared to make that change, do that thing, just lean in?
I think a lot of people see like, what I do is cool, like whatever, whether it's a TV show or public speaking or whatever. But the truth is, I never spoke with confidence. And it's like,
You speak with almost too much confidence now.
I don't. I'll tell you a secret. Sometimes I always get very nervous. And
Are you nervous now?
I always get a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I always get a little bit nervous, but I think it's a great sign that you're passionate about something. So even if I keynote or doing whatever, but I just learned to control my nervousness. So I push it down.
Okay, but wait a second. You actually brought up something where I'm like, is it better to just push it down and pretend that it doesn't exist? Or do we just embrace it and go, whoa, you're here. Guess what? Like, fear. You just don't get to sit in the driver's seat. Like, you can ride shotgun, but like, I'm still in charge over here.
I think you just learn to embrace it, of course, but I think you learn how to deal with it in more like a healthy fashion. And I think like the more I've done this career, I think I've done food now for like 21, maybe 22 years, which is really a majority of my whole life.
Like literally your whole life.
You know?
Because you're also 28.
I'm going to be 36, I think, this month. I'm not really.
Think?
Sometimes I'm like, I'm going to be
What
this
do you mean
age.
you think? Actually, I
You do that too.
Mine
Yeah.
a fair amount
Well,
too.
you're going to be 29. What? You're going to be
February 16.
Yeah, you'll be 29.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the more I've done this career, I've learned more who I was, not only as a chef, but as a person. And then like the Allison I look back early on in my career never like cooked with confidence or took risks. Like they were like, who wants to work the station? I would walk away. Like I did not want to do it.
Not me.
Not me. Like, and then over time you're like, okay, I want to do all these things. I mean, like, what can I do to get over this? I think over time you gain your confidence. There's a big difference between being confident and being cocky, right? I think I just like, I'm nervous, but then I'm also have this confidence to go and do.
Well, and I think we also like have a responsibility to ourselves as we continue to move through this world and grow to lean into the thing that's scary, that like maybe we might fail at, that just like isn't easy. And who cares?
Oh,
like,
exactly.
I keep, even with Dish and Tell and this podcast, I keep going, what's the worst case scenario? And I take it to the absolute worst place. And then I go, that's actually not so bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think
let's move forward.
Yeah.
You know?
No, exactly. And you take these risks and you can't be afraid to fail. And I've failed at a few things, but I just continually.
We all have.
Oh, totally.
That's
and
what
it's
makes
like
us
life.
human.
Yeah. And you just keep on going and you just say yes to things that scare you. And then like the more you kind of gain this confidence and you almost want to have this energy to do more and to do better, because there are some things in my life, like by all means, I didn't set out to be a keynote speaker, like a public speaker, did not whatsoever.
But you're inspiring the masses.
Oh, totally. I remember somebody's like, how do you become a keynote speaker? And I went, I don't know.
Like overnight.
Somebody
I woke up
asked
one
me
day.
to do it. That's how that happened. Because I wasn't like, I should really motivate a room.
Yeah.
You know?
But you do.
I do. And I think I got asked this week to do my 6th keynote. I'm really moving up on these keynote speeches.
Thank you. Ow.
Yeah, it's for a women's conference. I think that was the details I have, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't get all of it.
We'll talk to your people and figure it out.
Yeah, totally.
Well, I mean, I feel like, we've obviously connected quickly and early on through food. But I think another thing that we both share is, sadly, we've both lost our dads. And there's wisdom from your dad that you have shared with me before about, he used to tell you, if you never put yourself out there, no one will know you exist. God, it's just so true. And it's such an invitation to just be brave and to do the scary thing, because I admittedly have been more of kind of a supporting role, a supporting player in my life.
But those supporting roles still get nominated for Oscars.
They do, and they're important.
Yes.
And I love being like a hype woman for my people. But I also have some like main character energy that I really want to start embracing and running with. And I don't know, so just keeping you and your dad in mind has been such a sweet motivator to me.
I was watching Food Network and I was like, I want to be Rachel Ray, you know? But I would watch the Food Network and he would sit down and watch Food Network with me and he always say, you know, some days this will be you that I'm watching. And I would be like, yeah, right. You know? And I would be like, yeah, right. And then like after he passed away, I kind of really thought about what he was saying. And I just started saying yes to things. And to be honest with you, I would say yes to things and I'd be like, I actually have no idea how to do this. But I'm going to figure it out. Like the first keynote speech I ever did.
That's so true.
I was like, first of all, I was like, what am I going to talk about? I wasn't even concerned about what I was going to wear. Clearly, I wear Canadian tuxedos, you know, obviously.
I mean, because it always works.
Always.
Always. It never is a disappointment.
No. It's for every occasion. You know? But I remember like getting asked to do this keynote and the lady asked me to do it and I go, yes. And then I remember getting into my car and I went like, I literally have no idea how to keynote. Or what am I going to write about? Yeah. And I wrote about like what my father said because I was like, this could, you know, captivate a room. It's like this power of just saying yes to opportunities and putting yourself out there. But the first time I ever was a keynote speaker, I don't know if you're familiar with Athena, which is like this international women's award ceremony, and they're all across the country, you know, really powerful women. Yeah. Right. And then like they're reading who has a master's, who has a PhD. And I was like, I went to public school in Brooklyn. Like, how am I supposed to speak in front of these women? So it was very intimidating.
Like imposter syndrome starts creeping in.
Yes. And I practiced my speech and I was like, okay, I have like a great message that could captivate everybody. Like it's for everybody. Yeah. You know? And then I do my speech, right? And I was really nervous and I just like talk slow, which is very difficult for me. But for public speaking.
You're doing great, by the way.
Thank you. Public speaking, I learned how to talk slow, enunciate my words. So I was keynoting the speech, right? And then everyone stands up and has like a standing ovation. They clap, and the women were complimenting me on my speech. And like a week later, I got a phone call from the president of Hofstra University. Do you know Hofstra University anymore?
I do know Hofstra.
And she was like, we're having a women's conference, and I was at your speech with my daughter, and we were looking for a keynote speaker, and my daughter said, you have to get Allison Fasano. And I keynoted at Hofstra, so it was just like this ever-twining thing that happened, and I constantly always give this same speech because I think it captivates a room. You know, like just say yes and not to like be afraid to fail and put yourself out there.
It doesn't like overcomplicate it either. It's like, oh, you want the roadmap and the steps to do something? Literally say yes to it. That's all. Life is so beautiful in its simplicity, and I think what it offers us, we just complicate it with our own bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
So,
and I think when you say yes to things, even if it scares you or even if it like shakes your voice, it opens up to so many new, you know, opportunities. And regardless if they're good or bad, you always gain something. Like I've had these, you know, if like your life was a book and you closed a chapter, there's some chapters like maybe you wouldn't open up again, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe in a few years from now, you'll just glance at the highlights of it. But I think with all experience, regardless if they're good or bad, you always gain something. So when people like, that was the worst experience of my life, and I'm like, was it really? Like you always gain a friend or a life lesson, or sometimes
when you treat everything, when you treat the journey like the point and like the learning opportunity, not the destination, it just opens up, I think, so much for you.
If there's a great opportunity that presents itself and you're scared for what will, just say yes. Sometimes we regret it, I think, more no's than yes.
I want to start to wrap this up. And so as we bring our meal to a close so we can really finish and dig in here. Because I did realize maybe I need to have like a little thing of toothpicks or something, because I was
you're good.
Wait, this is a little scary. I'm being filmed while eating, and like there's a lot of room for error in that.
You know, like on TV shows, they chew a bit and they just swallow.
I like only start making smoothies and soups for people.
Yeah, so do you want a pasta with tomato sauce and chilies? No. If it doesn't go in the magic bullet, we're not eating it.
No, that's the rule. That's the rule, turns out. What do you hope lingers after this conversation, like a really good dessert?
Well, besides the beautiful smells this kitchen has.
I know, thank you.
Maybe from a week or two from now, you might call me up and say, I said yes to something, or...
I love that. I love you. Yeah. You're welcome at my table anytime. And I love all of you who pulled up a chair and joined us. Thank you for being a part of the Dish and Tell community. I'll share my recipe for Allison's red sauce and meatballs over on my Substack. So be sure to pop over and check it out. Eventually, recipes from the podcast will be available exclusively for subscribers. So get it while it's hot. If you like what I'm cooking and you aren't a paid subscriber yet, consider helping me pay for my groceries. It would mean the world. And until then, buon appetito. Thank you, Allison.
Yeah, thanks.